Turning now to AI. So I did update all of you that in the new, funding structure for the government, the Republicans were trying to insert some language of regulating states, making sure that they are not allowed to regulate AI. Well, now this has become a full-fledged fight from the Trump administration, and it was especially had gasoline poured on the fire after Jensen Huang, Elon Musk, Greg Brockman from OpenAI all were at the White House for the Saudi state dinner. And the three of them apparently met with Donald Trump and are continuing to push this ban on states from being able to regulate AI. There is a new report, let's put this up here on the screen, from The Information that the Trump administration is working on an executive order to try and to foil state AI regulation. This comes on the heels of Trump himself actually putting out a truth to this effect, again, after a meeting with all of these AI executives. You can see from the truth, he says, investment AI is helping to make the US economy the hottest in the world. Overregulation by states is threatening to undermine this growth engine. Some states are even trying to embed DEI ideology into AI models, producing woke AI. Remember Black George Washington? We must have one federal standard instead of a patchwork of 50 state regulatory regimes. We can do this in a way that protects children and prevents censorship. So obviously a lot of this is being pushed hard by the AI companies, specifically because they do not want individual states where they have to comply with different regulation. Of course, it's definitely to their benefit. And I think this is the whole ballgame, because when you see like the state of California, obviously where all of these people are headquartered, that's what they're actually terrified about, is safety standards and others that would require them to comply in a certain way. But I think more broadly, this is really about control, because these people want to become gods. They say it out in the open. Dario literally says, none of you are going to work in 5 years. Elon, very recently, what did he say? He's like, all of you are going to be phenomenally rich and very happy. I mean, it's the World Economic Forum meme. You will own nothing and you will be happy. We promise you'll be rich. Wink, wink.
Yeah, we don't have any plans for how.
We don't have plans for that, but we promise that you will. We promise
it'll be fine.
You will be rich. And we're like, okay, cool. Why should I take your word for it? Exactly. And I do want to give, honestly, a good amount of credit. There are some states, even Republican states, that are standing up. But first, let's listen to Trump himself on the issue. C1, please. Let's take a listen.
We will work closely with friends and partners like those in this room to build the largest, most powerful, most innovative AI ecosystem in the world. And we are going to work it so that you'll have a one approval process, not have to go through 50 states in the United States. You can't go through 50 states. You have to get one approval. 50 states is a disaster because you have one woke state and you have to do all woke. You'll be back into the woke business. We don't have woke anymore in this country. It's virtually illegal. But you'll have a couple of wokesters, and we don't want to do that. We want to get the AI done.
Bunch of wokesters in charge over there.
So pathetic.
Of AI. I mean, listen, I'm not going to say woke AI or whatever of that is not a issue, but I think it actually is one of those things that belies the problem, which is, because they get to program whatever they want, including political and cultural ideology, into the AI. And that has massive effects for everything. So not just culture, race, but suicide, the one that I'm hands down the most concerned about, pornography, sports betting. I told you all, this shit is coming. It's already here. The Microsoft Copilot literally is running ads on the NFL Network and be like, Microsoft Copilot will help you do your fantasy team, which is a wink wink to sports betting. The most degenerate behavior, that's all they're trying to do, is to make it just even more addictive, make it integral and essential, and that's why it does need regulation. And if the states are the only people who are going to stand up for it, good. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because, look, I mean, if this is all moving so quickly with so much money, and the ambition for control has never been more overstated by leaders of an industrial revolution. Literally never. Even if you look back to the origins, a lot of the times the people who were in charge, even of the railroads or the factories, any of that stuff, they were always trying to pitch it, yes, as good for themselves, but they're like, look at all this benefit to humanity. I don't even think that they try this time for any of the benefits that are supposedly there. It's pretty out in the open. They want to become trillionaires, literally. They want to become transhumanists, and their plan is to put everybody out of work and to roll up the riches of the nation into themselves. Sorry.
Yeah. The only reason they really have to put up with us now is two things. First of all, they need workers, and second of all, they need people to buy stuff. But already, and Ryan was pointing this out, like the consumer economy is so skewed towards the wealthy that they barely need most of the population just to keep the like consumer economy going. They want to make you irrelevant. I mean, this is the main event of Trump administration 2.0. There's a lot going on. There's a lot that's consequential. I'm not saying it's not. This is the main event. This is what you need to keep your eye on, because this is truly like they're going for complete and total control in a way that has never been possible before in human history. How do you think it's going to go for democracy or for society at large if you have one of these companies achieve superhuman intelligence and be able to truly get rid of most of the workforce? How do you think this is all going to go? Think of the level of control. Right now, we were talking about like before the show started. If you ask Grok, who is more fit, Elon Musk or LeBron James? Grok will tell you Elon Musk is more physically fit than LeBron James. And that is like literally you can go and look right now at the answers that it will give you. Okay, so this is the level of megalomania. And we're going to hand this incredible power, like global power and control, to this handful or, single individual, totally psychotic. This is insane. And so Trump, he was on the ropes. He was being sued and he had all these criminal cases against him. He wanted to get back in the White House to make all of his problems go away. He changed his position on a number of things. He threw fully in with the tech oligarchs who, there's an idea that these tech bro types were more on the Democratic Party side. And I think like socially, liberally, that's true, especially in the Obama era. There was a real close symbiosis. They let all their mergers go through, et cetera. But they have deeply authoritarian instincts. They're like move fast and break things ethos. That means they don't think there should be any democratic checks on what they're allowed to do. So even though the Trump tech world marriage was kind of an odd fit to begin with, it makes sense when you consider a guy who has zero respect for norms, institutions, traditions, et cetera, and who is an authoritarian, with a tech world which is similarly egotistical and think that they should be able to rule everything and run everything and have absolutely no checks. And so you had this coming together in this Trump administration, in this Trump campaign. Elon, of course, gave more than $250 million. You had them involved in picking J.D. Vance as a vice president. Peter Thiel has always been very influential, bringing all these people together. The inauguration, they're all there. You see these repeated dinners where they're there, they're sucking up to Trump. Like, this is the main event of the Trump administration. And so I think, I would not be surprised at all if he signs an executive order that says, we're going to sue you. Our Justice Department is going to sue you if you try to rein this in even a little bit, because every single move he's made is to just completely unleash this thing and hope for the best. And Trump doesn't give a shit about anything or anyone. He's happy to suck up his crypto riches and let his oligarch friends do whatever the hell they want. And he does not give a shit about whether or not you have a job in the future, about even whether human society lasts beyond his life. Which is a genuine question if we continue in this direction. So I think, from the immediate effects in terms of what it does to all of our brains and the sort of, the degenerate behavior as Saagar describes it, I think those are genuine concerns, to the way it's already spiking our electric bills, the way it's destroying water systems, the way it's degrading our environment, to the medium to longer term. We already see the job loss kicking in, to the more existential threats of what this means for our democracy and for human civilization altogether. we need to come together and fight against this with everything we have. We need people who are like across the aisle, cross-partisan, cross-ideological coalition who care about the future of humanity and want to put some checks on these people because they are absolutely out of control.
Yeah, and I mean, the way they sell it is like, well, we got to beat China and all of that. And it's like, look, and I recently said this, I did a podcast with the Bloomberg guys over at Odd Lots because they asked me about that. And I said, the technology is not the same thing as the companies, right? Because the point around this, let's say in terms of our objection, is specifically about the monopolization and the control by single individuals. And yes, I know it's a meme that I only care about sports betting or we. To be honest, the one that I care about the most is mental health, is suicide. When I read those transcripts of those kids who are interacting with ChatGPT and being like, hey, you know, about advising about how to hang himself with nooses and notes, that combined, Emily sent us a study yesterday about how short-term video consumption has nuked cognition. If you have a society which is deracinated through vice, which I focus on, which is illiterate or functionally illiterate and doesn't know how to think for itself, which increasingly short-form video content consumption and outsourcing knowledge to ChatGPT, put those together, you are basically a meat sack vessel who is using opiates of some kind, you know, in order to numb your pain, and then outsourcing all of your thinking to this like godlike machine, which has no qualms about validating where you at, not trying to help you, and can encourage you to kill yourself. Oh, and by the way, that includes states where there is assisted suicide, which Sam Altman literally said, if it's legal, yes, we would direct you. I cannot think of anything more dystopian, like the suicide thing and the mental health stuff. The pornography, again, I mean, think about it. Like
this mass surveillance, too. I mean, we rarely talk about that.
So you take a society, you pump them full of weed and alcohol and gambling and make it so that socialization itself is bad, and then you create this chatbot which will fulfill all of your fantasies to make sure that you never leave. What do you think is going to happen? Right? I mean, that's the stuff that I'm the most 10, 15 times more worried about than anything else. And the sick part is it's good for their business because it means that you're going to sit there and you're just going to keep typing and typing and typing. It's going to be the most, I mean, already people are addicted to their phones. Now make, you know, romantic relationships into that. It's bad. And yeah, like that is where the concern about regulation and democratic input and making sure that, you know, Sam Altman isn't the only person, or Elon or any of these other people.
They're trying to
you cannot allow these people to do it.
They're trying to colonize our minds, even to an even greater extent than they already have.
Yeah.
Trying to colonize our minds and strip us of our genuine humanity. Like, I mean, that's what, like, the capitalist class has always sort of seen us just as, like, meat sacks and widgets to plug into their business as and how they see fit. But with this technology, that becomes increasingly possible where they can just render us, they don't have to care about us at all. They can just render us irrelevant completely. So yeah, when Elon promised, oh, we're all gonna be so rich, I don't think I would take him at face value with that. Go look at Elon's history of how his promises ultimately were. How did Doge go? Tell me about that one. How much money did we save in Doge? How did that work out? I mean, this man, whatever, all of them are, none of them, there's no human on the planet that should be trusted with this level of power. More Perfect Union has been doing really great on the ground reporting about the impact of these data centers and also the community pushback against these data centers. And I think this is a very important part of this fight because it's the part that's the most visible in people's communities. The rest of it, the chat bots, the videos, it's sort of insidious, right? Like it's not that different from just being able to Google stuff. I think parents a lot of times don't really understand the way that kids might be using ChatGPT or Grok or other LLMs. So it's a little bit more sort of under the radar. Whereas the data centers are incredibly visible. They're having this big immediate impact in communities. They're having this big immediate impact on people's electric bills. So I think it's a very, very important part of the fight. They recently did a video about the impact of one of these data centers. This is C2. Let's go ahead and listen to this.
I grew up here, and I wanted my kids to be able to do the same. And we welcomed Meta, which opened a data center in our town.
We were behind an 18-wheeler once, and it backed up, and we almost got killed. My yaya had to go mouth those people out. She'll say, Meta's stupid. She just doesn't like it, and I don't like it. We've been there for, like, since I was alive, and Papa was alive, so I don't really like that we're going to have to move.
We went to Holly Ridge, Louisiana, where Meta's new Manhattan-sized data center is being built. Meta's new ads claim these communities welcome data centers, but residents painted a very different picture.
We had no voting on it, no community meetings, no nothing. It was done all under the table. And when it was said and done, there was nothing nobody could do.
You're planning to leave?
I've been here 81 years. I can't stay here with nobody I can talk to. My mom has been out here all her life, 82 years. She's really not happy about it, but does want to leave too.
Do you think they care about the people that live here?
No, I sure don't.
Residents emphasized the increased traffic violence from Meta's trucks. I dug through police reports and found a 600% increase in vehicle crashes on the roads surrounding Meta's construction site in the last 9 months.
The playground at the front of the school, they're not letting y'all play on that, right?
No. Meta trucks don't watch out. If they try to stop, they will they wrecked into the gate, and that's why they're saying we shouldn't go out there and all that, because there's too many wrecks and Meta trucks, and they could crash. I really love that playground.
Do you wish you could play there?
Yes.
Residents also shared their distrust in the quality of their water and the lack of support from elected officials to address it.
My neighbor was washing my clothes and messed up a whole load of whites because it come out stained from that brown water.
Do you feel like it's safe to drink?
No, I buy water.
Have you heard anything about them addressing that? Have they?
No.
Have you gotten any information about the project at all from anybody?
None at all, except on the internet and on my Facebook.
The data center is the size of Manhattan, and these, tech companies have so much money to throw around. I mean, talk about the influence of money in politics. Like, that's why these things are going up everywhere with very little from the politicians pushback. But at the ground level in the communities, and I say this living in a community that is having a number of battles over these data centers myself, there is a huge level of pushback. More Perfect Union did another video that I really encourage you, in partnership with Hey John Russell, on Mingo County, West Virginia, one of the poorest counties in the entire country, still coal country, but obviously a lot of the coal jobs have gone away, economically devastated. And the political officials decided at the state level really to locate this data center there. And you have a bunch of residents who are furious about it. But their governor and their legislators in West Virginia passed a law limiting the amount of local control that you even have. So even if your community doesn't want this data center there, they can just come over the top and put it there against your wishes. Yeah. So I think, like I said, I think this is a very important part of the fight because it's so visible and there's so much pushback across the board, whether you're on the left or the right, there are reasons to hate these things going in your town.
100%. And like I said, I want to give a shout out to some governors, including some who I'm personally beefing with at the moment. Let's go ahead and put this up here on the screen. Listen, I'm a straight shooter whenever it comes to these.
Yeah,
Ron DeSantis actually is speaking out. He's saying stripping states of jurisdiction to regulate AI is a subsidy to big tech and prevents states from protecting against online censorship of political speech, predatory applications that target children, violations of IP rights, data center intrusions on power and water resources. The rise of AI is the most significant economic cultural shift occurring at the moment. Denying the people the ability to channel these technologies in a productive way via self-government constitutes federal government overreach and lets technology companies run wild. Not acceptable. Agree. Endorse. Agreed. Go to the next one, please. This is from Governor Spencer Cox over at Utah. It says Governor DeSantis is correct. States must be able to regulate the tools of AI that could severely impact our kids, our families, our constitutional rights, our security. We've already made the mistake of allowing social media companies to destroy our children's mental health, tear our country apart. Let's not do it again. And so last one, C6, just to show you, I mean, this is bipartisan and it's all over the place. Some of the most populous states in the country. Pennsylvania lawmakers, bipartisan coalition, are outraged at the federal attempt to prevent states from regulating AI. So I expect some of the states to rise up and to try, but if Trump does sign an executive order, there'll be a lot of litigation. We'll continue to track the story. Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show ad-free and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.